Now, the scale of a devastating attack by Boko Haram militants in northeastern Nigeria has been laid bare in new satellite images. The before and after pictures of the town of Baga and nearby villages show thousands of structures were destroyed in a reported massacre earlier this month. Well, our international editor, Lindsay Hilson, is with me. Lindsay.
Christian, I think today really shows us the information gap in the 21st century. We're getting live information of this incident in Belgium. The same was true in Paris. We were hearing it all the time, hundreds of cameras. 2 weeks ago, there was a terrible massacre in northeastern Nigeria. We still don't know how many were killed. We know it was hundreds, maybe more than 1,000. But if journalists went there, they'd be killed or kidnapped. The eyewitnesses were fleeing for their lives, not counting the dead. There's no mobile phone coverage there. The government pretty much pretended it didn't happen. Local government officials give unreliable information. It's only now, 2 weeks on, that Amnesty International has obtained this satellite imagery and begun to interview eyewitnesses who fled. We're now just beginning to be able to piece together what really happened in and around the Nigerian town of Baga. January the 2nd, satellite imagery shows the town of Doron Gowon, vegetation and buildings undisturbed. 5 days later, more than 3,000 structures have been razed to the ground. More than 600 houses in neighbouring Baga were also destroyed as Boko Haram militants rampaged through the town.
People told me that Boko Haram went house to house, searching for civilians, pulling them out of their homes and shooting them in the streets. They also told me about the fact that Boko Haram fighters were not only in Baga town itself, but assembled themselves around the town. So in the trees surrounding Baga, they were there waiting for civilians when they fled. And so many civilians were shot dead as they tried to escape.
Eyewitnesses said the killers came in 70 four-wheel drive vehicles, just like on the Boko Haram propaganda videos. They also had an armoured personnel carrier, presumably seized from the poorly equipped and demoralised Nigerian army, which is losing territory by the day. Boko Haram have swept across northern Nigeria. They control more than 3/4 of Borno state, including Baga and Doron Gowon. People have fled 200 kilometres across the bush to the state capital, Maiduguri, which remains in government hands. Bewildered and destitute, those fleeing Baga might well ask, what is their government, their army, the outside world doing? The contrast to international outrage on the Paris killings is stark. And it's hard to see how strong words will help if there's no follow-up, no action.
I have spoken out about Boko Haram any number of times, and what they have done with respect to the slaughter recently is a crime against humanity, nothing less.
The Nigerian president, Goodluck Jonathan, running for re-election, went to Maiduguri today. Maybe he'll say something about Baga. He hasn't yet, although he did send condolences to the French. Even as the leader of Boko Haram, Abu Bakr Shekau, expressed his joy at the Paris killings. If only someone would think seriously about Nigeria, about the victims of the violence, and how to stop the terror.
Lindsay Hilson reporting now.